Hey, it's Weston here. In this video, I'm going to go over everything there is to know about my first month at VIPKid, and we're starting right now. So I've already made a video talking about my first 2 weeks at VIPKid. You can find that video linked right here. In this video, I'm going to talk about my first full month at VIPKid. So that'll be the month of March 2020. So first, I'm going to talk about the new pay incentive for any teachers hired in 2020. Then I'm going to go over how much I made in my first month. I'll go over how I got bookings. And lastly, I'll go over the one thing I wish I knew before I started. So with that being said, let's get into it. Okay, so let's go over the new pay incentive. I'll be making a detailed video on this in the future, but for now we can just talk about the basics. So basically, if you were hired before 2020, you got your base pay, and then you got an extra $1 for showing up on time to class, and then you got an extra $1 if you taught over 45 classes in 1 month. The new pay incentive is a little more complicated than that. You start off making 80 cents extra per class for the first 20 classes. Then for your next 20 classes, you make $1.20. And then for your next 20, you make $1.60, and so on and so forth. As you can see from this chart, the more classes you teach over time, the higher your incentives go up. Some people really like this new pay incentive program, and some people really hate it. It just basically boils down to how many classes you were planning on teaching. If you plan on teaching a lot of classes every month, like over 100, then it's going to end up working in your favor and it'll be a slight pay increase. If you didn't plan on teaching that many classes, say you plan on teaching in the 45 to 60 classes per month range, then this might be a slight pay decrease for you. As for me, I love this new pay incentive because I teach about 160 classes per month. So in the long run, it's going to be a slight pay increase for me. Now we know a little bit about the new pay incentive, so let's jump into how much I made. All right, I'm here in the VIPKid app under the bookings calendar. As you can see here, I'm in March 2020, and the first of the month was a Sunday, so I didn't start work until the 2nd. So as I scroll down, you can see that I was pretty well booked. In the first week of March, I opened 41 slots and I ended up teaching 37 of those. For my second week, I opened up 30 slots and I taught all of those except one on Saturday, right here. I didn't work this Friday because I had a photo shoot for a local company. Moving on to the third week of March, I opened up 38 slots and ended up teaching 37 of those. Not sure what happened here. I think a student requested me and then backed out, so that's why it looks a little strange. Okay, now to the fourth week. I opened up 37 slots and once again, only one of those wasn't booked. And I wasn't planning on teaching this Sunday, but one of my favorite students requested me, so I figured why not. And now for the final 2 days of the month. The 29th was Spring Forward Sunday for time change, but China time stayed the same. I guess they don't have daylight savings in China. So I decided to open 10 slots on each of those days to finish the month strong. And 3 of those slots weren't booked, but I'd say it was still a successful ending to my first full month. That wraps up the details of my bookings. Now let's jump to the payment tab for the moment we've all been waiting for. Drum roll, please. So for the whole month, I made $1,538.41. Yeah, pretty awesome considering I don't have any teaching experience other than tutoring basketball teammates in college. So what was my hourly rate? Well, adding up all the numbers I just showed you, we get 156 classes. At 2 classes per hour, we get 78 hours of work. And that's including parent feedback, since it takes me less than 2 minutes to provide feedback and I do it between classes. So $1,538.41 divided by 78 hours gives you $19.72 per hour. Once again, pretty awesome considering I don't have a boss, I can work or not work whenever I want, and I don't have a commute. Plus, I was in Tier 1 on the new pay scale, so my hourly rate only goes up from here. I honestly can't think of a better side hustle out there. Now I've shown you the details of my first month's paycheck not to brag, but to show you that VIPKid is a legitimate job where you can make some pretty decent money. And I don't want to come off as tone deaf. I know that these are some pretty hard times in the world right now, and I know for VIPKid the hiring process has slowed down. But I will say this, due to these hard times and the oversaturation of applicants, many people will give up on VIPKid, assuming that this is the norm. So if you're one of those people that pushes through this hard time, you'll begin to reap the benefits in the near future. So assuming you are one of those people that pushes through hard times, now I'm going to go over how I got my bookings. I've mentioned this in a previous video, but I'll say it again. Getting bookings boils down to 3 things. Number 1, open as many slots as you can. Open slots you don't plan on teaching in the long run, open slots on the weekends, and open slots at least 2 weeks in advance. Number 2 is make sure your profile picture looks good. For this, it's pretty basic. Just make sure it's taken from a decent angle and make sure you have good lighting. And the final and most important aspect on your entire profile is your intro video. If the parents and kids don't like your intro video, then they aren't going to check out all the other parts of your profile. I spent an entire day filming and editing my video. It'll be linked right here if you want to check it out. I also made a video on how to make a good video, and that'll also be linked right here. On top of that, I script and edit any of my referrals videos. So if that's something that you're interested in, then check the link below. Okay, so we've covered the new pay incentive, we've covered how much I made in my first month, and we covered how I got bookings. Now all that's left is the one thing I wish I knew before I started. So here it is. VIPKid puts you at the top of the parent search engine for your first 2 weeks. That means you need to open as many slots as you can within your first 2 weeks. Most of my regulars now I got from my first 2 weeks. So really try to grind through those early stages and I promise it'll pay off in the long run. All right, that wraps everything up. I hope this video was helpful. I tried to be as honest and transparent as I could be. If you could give this video a like, that'd be great. And if you have any questions, you know where to leave them.